I move that the question be now put.
Chris Farfoy.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr Chair, for allowing me a call for Part 1 of the Student Loan Scheme Amendment Bill. I'd just like to touch on a point that Mr Parker made around the sums that are involved in actually taking these measures and whether or not this is actually just tinkering at the edges in terms of National's commitment to student loans. I understand that by taking the measures in this bill, and the member for Dunedin North did point that out in the last call, we're looking at bringing in about $14 million total more revenue as part of the measures that are being taken in this bill. Now, to put that in, that's a best guess, and I probably think it's coming from the ARD, but to put that in perspective, Mr Chair, a total of $12 billion is owed by New Zealanders who have taken out a student loan. And to put that in the context of those who are now overseas, $2.5 billion is owed in terms of student loans by Kiwis who have now studied, taken a loan out and have gone overseas. Now I understand in a nominal sense that's 0.12%. So really, in terms of what this bill is going to do in terms of taking action against those who have gone overseas and maybe are shirking their responsibilities in terms of paying their student loan back, we don't think on this side of the House really that this is going to make much of a difference. And one of the aspects of that, and there is a SOP, an amendment on the table under the name of Grant Robertson, does pertain to, I think it is clause 107B, around the repayment holiday, which is going to be reduced from 3 years down to 1. And Mr Chair, as someone who has gone overseas for roughly 2 years on an overseas experience, this is something that I would have been caught in if this law had been in place in roughly 2006 and 2007. And this would have meant that I would have only had a 1 year repayment holiday, which meant I would have come back to somewhere in the vicinity, and maybe my colleague over here will be able to correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere of a debt of around $1,000 or $3,000 if I hadn't repaid back my loan while I was away, because as I was away for 2 years, the law as it is proposed in the bill at the moment would have meant I would have been a year out, and if I hadn't repaid, then I would have returned to New Zealand with a considerable debt. We do think that the House should consider the SOP that is on the table under the name of Grant Robertson, making sure that this bill keeps the repayment holiday period at 3 years. We think it is a good solution given the amount of time that Kiwis usually head away overseas to take their OE. We do also note, and it has been mentioned on a number of occasions, that the Minister for Revenue, Peter Dunn, in 2007 did state that a 3-year working holiday period would be a pragmatic approach to making sure that we can get back the revenue that we can get back, and it would suit better the purposes of those students who had taken out a loan and had gone overseas. We also understand, Mr Speaker, that Treasury itself has said that making this change from a 3-year period to a 1 year period may in fact mean that less money comes in terms of revenue from those who have gone overseas. So, Mr Speaker, in terms of this bill, we've already stated that we're looking forward to the contribution from Peter Dunn. We asked that he return to his position in 2007, where he quite clearly stated that a 3-year holiday period was much more preferred in terms of that holiday than a 1 year period. And, Mr Speaker, we do also look forward to maybe the members on the opposite side of the House who may think that this is a good move to support the SOP of Grant Robertson. Mr Chair, the student loan bill at $12 billion is a significant amount of money. We do want to make sure that students who have taken out a student loan do get in the habit of paying it back, and if they can pay it back, we do. But with $2.5 billion, being owed by students who are overseas, we think that much better measures can be taken in this bill in terms of what's in this now to make sure we can get some of that $2.5 billion back. It is a significant amount of money. It is a concern that we had an interjection or a contribution from Maggie Barry across from the House while Chris Hapkins was speaking, that we do want to try and draw some of our best and brightest back and maybe taking the load off them in terms of their student loans is a way to do that. But to hear Ms Barry say that we'll never get them back is a concern. We want to make sure we get our best and brightest back. As Chris Hipkins said, it was pointed out by John Key ahead of the 2008 election about just how many Kiwis are going overseas, and we want to make sure they're coming back.
Mr Chair.
Scott Simpson.
Mr Chair, I move that the question be now put.
Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.